Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And today we have two characters to talk about, but they're wonderful characters, actually. First, the American composer Robert Kurka. This is a spare recording I have on the CD label. With the Grant Park Orchestra of some of his symphonic works. He lived from 1921 to 1957. I believe he died of leukemia, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He was very talented. Really gifted composer in the neoclassical school. And the big work here is his Second Symphony, which is a masterpiece. It is absolutely a masterpiece. If you don't know it, you have to listen to it. Play the finale. It's just a fantastic work. Great fun to listen to. Sinewy and substantive and without a trace of fat on it. It's just amazing. We also get his symphonic epilogue after Shakespeare, Julius Caesar, music for orchestra, Opus 11, and his serenade for small orchestra. And this is with the Grant Park Orchestra under Carlos Kalmar. They're very fine performances. The Second Symphony was also recorded by Albany with the Albany Symphony Orchestra, which is another very good performance. They're really great. And the label is CD. This is a spare that I hung on to. CD did a couple things dedicated to Kurka, and it's a shame. He was a real talent. It really is a pity he passed away when he did, because there was serious substance there. There really is. His most famous work, and this is the world premiere recording of his opera, The Good Soldier Schweik, which is really fun and interesting. And it's like, let's say, very well performed here by the Chicago Opera Theater under Alexander Platt. And again, this is on CD, and it's a very nice production. I mean, you get the complete, you get a booklet, and it has, the complete libretto, thank God. And then you get another booklet with notes and other stuff in it. It's really CD is a class act. I mean, it really is. It's a first-rate label that does interesting things, sort of focused around musicians of the greater Chicago area. So Kurka's The Good Soldier Schweik is an American opera worth getting to know. It really is. And then we've got, for the rest of this little chat, just 3 discs, but they're interesting ones. Rafael Kubelik, the conductor and composer. Yeah, how do you like that? Well, here's the Great Conductors of the 20th Century series on EMI. Remember that? And they license stuff from all over the place. So, it's EMI, Deutsche Grammophon, Superphone, Philips, Decca. They got stuff from all over to put this series together. I mean, and good for them. I mean, God knows they would waste their time on it now. So we've got Dvorak's Slavonic Rhapsody number 3, Martin's Fourth Symphony, Berlioz's The Dance of the Sylphs from The Damnation of Faust, Mendelssohn's Overture to A Midsummer Night's Dream, Hindemith's Symphonic Metamorphosis of Themes by Weber, Schumann's Genoveva Overture, Schubert's Third Symphony, the Adagio from Mahler's 10th, and Janáček's Sinfonietta. What a selection! And the orchestras are the Royal Phil, the Czech Phil, the Philharmonia, the Chicago Symphony, the Berlin Phil, the Vienna Phil, and Bavarian Radio. Some of these are quite old, I have to say, and the sound is really limited. Let me give you the dates. If I could pull this out here, and I'll tell you when some of these things were recorded. Okay, let's see, the Dvorak is good. That's 59. The Martinu was 1948 with the Czech Phil. This is just before 48, fateful year. That's when Kubelik, left Czechoslovakia in those days, and was effectively banned, and didn't return until after the fall of the Berlin Wall. So those are valuable, but the sound is not good. Then we've got the Berlioz is 1950, the Mendelssohn is 1952. Those are with the Philharmonia. The Hindemith is the Chicago Symphony Mercury recording. What's not to love, 1953. Mercury Living Presence, remember that? The Schumann is 1964 with the Berlin Phil. The Schubert Third Symphony is Vienna Phil from 1960. And the Mahler 10 is the DG Bavarian Radio recording. It's in the Mahler cycle that we all know. And the Sinfonietta is Vienna Phil 1955. And boy, are they not used to playing Janáček. Oh, even with Kubelik at the helm, it's kind of fun to hear him or them, or all of them, kind of like, blow their way through it with casually. Anyway, so there we go. That's the first Kubelik. Now, the next Kubelik is one of those artist portrait things. We saw one of these with Ephraim Kurtz that we just talked about because he was also a K. And here we have, let's see, Brahms orchestrated by Dvorak, Hungarian dances 17 through 21, borrowed in Second Symphony. Oh, that's a good performance. It's really good. Tchaikovsky 4, Martinu's The Frescoes of Piero della Francesca. That's great. Taras Bulba. That's great. And the Bartok Concerto for Orchestra. Now, these were all recorded in stereo, all of it. And they're kind of rarities. Well, I mean, they're not anymore because there's a Kubelik box. All this stuff has been boxed up. And on Icon, I think there was a Kubelik box. I've got one upstairs sitting around somewhere. So this stuff was vintage Kubelik. And when this was issued, this twofer, they were real rarities. They were appearing on CD for the first time, a lot of this material. So that was really, really exciting. Some of it was on Testament as well, I think. And then finally, we have, and this is really interesting, on Panton, Kubelik conducts Kubelik. Look at that. Kubelik diriguje Kubelika. Don't you just love declining nouns, proper nouns in Czech? Yeah. There's the nominative, and that's the genitive, in case you were wondering. Let's see. So what do we got here? Orpheon, symphony in 3 movements. And then his cantata without words for chorus and orchestra. Inventions and interludes for children's chorus, 4 oboes, and 4 trumpets. These are all Bavarian radio recordings. Although you have the Köln Children's Choir under Jiří Chvala. So if you're curious about Kubelik, the composer, he wrote like 3 requiems, for himself, and who knows who else. Maybe he wrote them all for himself. But his music is interesting, I would say. Modern, not exactly tuneful and fun, but interesting. And I wanted to give him a shot, so I got that, and I've got a couple other discs kicking around here somewhere that have works of his on them. So there you have it, Rafael Kubelik, the great, the late, the amazing Rafael Kubelik. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.